Hey everybody, Heather here. Thanks for joining me to color. Today we are going to be working on this super adorable Stampin' Bella image called Ellie the Elf. Isn't she cute? Love her. I will put a link down in the description box of the card kit and all the supplies I used. I would love for you to come shopping with me. There's tons more stuff than card kits in there too, so make sure to check over there and see what's available. So I've already stamped my image on Neenah 80-pound solar white cardstock with Memento Tuxedo black ink. So let's color. Let's start out by outlining our image with C0. And I'm just going to start right here at her foot, and I'm going to do a quick little outline all the way around to the other side. And I'm going to get these little curly cues for the package that are hanging off. And we'll go up here around this package. She's got a little bit of space here between her cheek. And then also, oh, nope, I'm going to color those green, so let's not go in there. So let's go up here and back around to the other side. And you can make your line as skinny or as small, as fat as you would like. I'm not really being really careful. I just do a quick little outline around the entire image. And if I do it first, that way if I get some on my image, I can erase it with my colorless blender if I hate it. Most of the time it's pretty light, so I don't go back and I just leave it on there. I'm going to get in between these package bows here too. And I did get some on my bows, but I'm going to color those red, so I'm not worried about that. And we're going to go back over here and around the other side to her foot. Now let's give her something to sit on. For our ground, we're going to use W5, W3, and W1. And I'm going to take my W5 and I'm going to use some of these lines that are already drawn on here. So like under the bulbs right here, there's some dark. And right here, some dark. And then we'll go out from her foot. And then I'm going to go close to her leg. I'm going to try to be careful not to color her leg. And then let's do this ball here. And then under the packages. And again, here's some lines. And I'm just using those lines as my guide to draw some color in. And I'm going to grab W3. And I just want to add a little bit more shadow. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to touch down on top of my last color. I'm going to go around that bulb and be a little careful around that. I don't want to color on top of it. And same over here. Let's go around some over here. And then we'll grab W1 to finish that off. Between my ornaments there. And then I'm going to bring my color down here just a little bit more. And then I always like to go back with my darkest color and just add my shadow again. So I've grabbed W5. And go back and do some of those lines just real quick. Let's move on to our skin next. For that, we're going to use E11, E21, E00, and E000. For our cheeks, I'm going to use R20 and R30. So I'm going to start with my E11, and let's do our little fingers down here first. So I'm going to give each of our little fingers a little line underneath on the bottoms. And then let's go up here and we'll do her neck. And I'm going to do a little bit of dark on this half of her neck. And then over here she's got a little bit of her ear showing. And then I want to bring this dark color down next to her eyebrows, or next to her bangs. Same for up here. And then over here she's got a little bit of her ear showing, so I'm going to get that. Then I'm going to grab E21, and I'm going to fill her fingers in. And if you filled them all the way in with the E11, that's okay too. And we'll go up here, we'll add a little bit more onto her neck. And we'll do both for ears. And we're going to bring this color around here to touch the other side of her face. Then we'll go with E00, and I'm going to go ahead and fill her ear in over here and on this one. And then I want to fill in a little bit more on her face. And then her neck down here, or her collar. Whoops. Then I'm going to fill the rest of her face in with E000. Then I want to add some cheek color, so I'm going to do R20 first. And for my cheeks, I go down from her eye and then I go over a little bit to the side. Same for this one, go down from her eye and then go over to the side. And then I'm going to take R30 and just lightly go on the edge of that R20. And then I'm going to take E000 and one more time go over her face. Now, let's go ahead and do her hair. For that, we're going to use E79, E74, and E77. I'm going to start with my E79, and I'm going to hold my pen more straight up and down, and I'm just going to flick away from this cute little hat she's got, the fur on her hat. And then same for this side over here. I'm turning my girl so I can keep my flicks going in the direction that the hair is going. Next, I'm going to grab E77. And again, I'm going to turn my girl so I can keep my flicks going in the direction I've got her hair going. And then I'm going to finish that off with E74. There's a little bit showing behind her ear there. And then I'm going to take my E79 and go back and just add a few little dark strands again. Let's do the white areas next. For that, we're going to use C2, C0, and our colorless blender. And I'm going to start up here on my hat with C2. And she's got a little bit of lines already on there, so I'm going to just squiggle over the top of those. And maybe add a little bit of dots down here along the bottom. And then I'm going to pick some stripes here on her hat. So let's do the second one, and we'll skip one. And because they're so small, I'm just going to fill those bottom ones in. And then when I get further up, we're going to go and add just a little bit of shade here. And make sure to skip every other one. And we'll just work our way up to the other side of her hat. And for these bigger sections, I'm going to bring my color up a little bit farther. And then for her fur on her hat, get right next to this ribbon. I'm going to bring it out just a little bit. And then she's got a little bit of fur that looks like it's kind of dipped in, so I'm going to get that. And then over here where it's coming behind her ear. Then I'm going to grab C0. I'm going to start back over here, and I'm just going to dab this around on top of my puff ball there. And then I'm going to do each one of these stripes again. And I'm touching down on top of my C2 and softening that edge. But I'm not going all the way to the top of my white stripe. Then I'm going to take my colorless blender and I'm just going to swirl over the top of each of those little lines. Just soften the edge of that last color. And then up here in the hat too. Let's go down here and do the stripes on her socks too. So again, I'm going to grab C2 and I'm just going to pick a stripe. So let's start here and I'm going to work my way over to the other leg. And we'll go over here and let's see, let's do this a red one. And we'll go white. And then we'll go back with C0. So I'm going to touch down on the edge of that C2. And then I'll swirl over it with my colorless blender. And I think I'll take a little bit of my C0 and do this one right next to her package there. Now let's do the red stripes. For that we're going to use R27, R17, and R08. I'm going to start with my R27. Let's start on this side. Do a little bit on the bottom of each of these stripes. A little dab on this one. Whoops, that one's supposed to be gray. Oh, it's going to be red now. And we'll go like this. And a little bit on there. And then we'll grab R17 and we'll work our way back. So we want to make sure to touch down on top of the R27 and pull a little bit more up into our white. And this is going to be one big red stripe now, since I accidentally got cross-eyed there and forgot to uncolor that gray stripe. Some of these lines are pretty small. And then we'll go with R08 to fill it in. Okay, then let's go up here and we'll do the hat. So again, I'm going to start with my R27. And let's see here. I left a little patch right here. There's a couple of little small sections that were just stripes. So I'm going to go ahead and just make those all the way red now because they're pretty dinky. Up here and about right here where it starts to bend, I'm just do a little bit. Then we'll go with R17. I'm trying to tip my pin up a little bit more so it's a little bit straighter. So I just use the tip a little bit, so not quite so wide of a stroke for me. And we'll go back here with our R08 and fill those all the way in. Let's see, what else have we got that's red? Let's do the bow on this package over here red. So I'm going to start with my R27. And let's do a little bit down here at the bottom, a little dab where it's coming out. And then for the swirls, they're pretty small. So I'm going to take just the tip of my pin and I'm going to try to do the inside of those swirls and fill them in. It looks like it has ribbon on it and there's like some flat spots. So I'm just going to use my pen to color. You're never going to get some more color in there. So I'm just going to color those all the way in and try not to make too much of a mess by just using the tip of my pen. Okay, that's not too bad. I'm going to go R17 next, and let's do a little bit more of our ribbon down here. And then I want to fill it in with my R08. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Okay, so let's go over here now and we'll do the package right here. So again, I'm going to grab my R27. Let's do R27 right next to the bow. I'm going to come right down the edge here on this bow, and I'm going to wrap it around over here on the bottom. And then same for this side. I want to go right next to the bow. And then I'm going to come down here to where the bow's on the package and come down along the bottom. Then I'm going to grab R17. I'm going to turn it a little bit more here. And I'm going to touch down on top of my dark color of R27 and pull out here into my white. And same for this side. Let's go ahead and touch down on top of our last color and flick out here to fill up some space. And then I'm going to fill it in the rest of the way with my R08. I'm going to make a thin line down the outside of the package. Try not to color both the other package. And over here, and again I'm going to go down the edge. And I'm going to try not to color the fingers. And then fill that space in. That, and then that leaves us with the red on the bow up here. So again, I'm going to go with R27, and let's color this little thin strip here, and then I want to do the outside of each of these bows. I'm going to color the inside of the bows green. And since they're so small, I'm just going to go ahead and color them all. It's one color. If you want to add a little bit of dimension, you could only color half of them and then color in some with the other two colors. But to keep it simple, I'm just going to go over them like so. Now let's work on the green areas. For that, we're going to use G29, G28, and G19. And I'm sorry if you got directions that said that the color was G18. When I pulled markers today, I discovered there is no G18, so it must have been the G19 and I typed it wrong. So the colors are G29, G28, and G19. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start down here on this ornament here with my G29. And I'm just going to go along this left side edge. And then I'm going to go with G28 next. And then I want to fill it in with my G19. Okay, then let's go up here and let's do the inside of these bows up here. So again, I've grabbed my G29 and let's just add a little bit in here. I'm just kind of squiggling my pen back and forth a little bit. And then I'm going to grab G28 and do the same thing. Just going to squiggle in there and add a little bit more color. And then I'll finish it off with my G19. Alright, and then let's go over here to the next package, which is this one, the bow. So again, I've grabbed G29. And let's give it a little bit of color here coming from the bottom. And then the top. And I want to get some of the bow. And let's do some of the insides of the bow here. And this one is kind of small down here towards the bottom, so let's give this one a little dab. And over here. And then we'll go with G28. And then I want to fill it in with my G19. And I'm trying to use just the tip of my pen so I don't get ink everywhere. And I also want to go down a little bit onto some of these to kind of erase some of my lines and smooth it out just a little bit. Then let's go do this last package over here. So again, I've grabbed G29. And I'm going to do a little bit down here right next to the ribbon. And then right next to this side where it's bent over. And where it's squished out of her hand, I'm going to give it a little bit of color. Next we'll grab G28. And I'm trying to go around some of that red I drew on there already. I'm just going to go ahead and fill this section in over here because it's pretty small. And try not to color her fingers. And then we're going to fill it in with our G19. Then it looks like I also did her dress with this colors. So let's do G29 on her dress. So let's do a dab right here. And then over here where it's touching this package. And then we'll add a little bit of our G28. Same for this side. And then we'll fill it in with our G19. Now let's work on the blue part of our image. For that we're going to use BG45, BG53, and B000. And let's start over here on this package right here in the middle. So we're going to start with BG45. I'm going to do a little bit of that color on this side of my ribbon. And maybe a little bit over here where it's bent over. And then let's also do a little bit over here. And then we'll go with BG53. And then we want to fill it in with our B000. For my B000, I'm going to swirl it all over the entire blue part. Try not to touch that red. You don't want to get red everywhere, so be careful. And then we also want to color this cute bow on this package, so again grab BG45. A little bit of section there. Let's do this one. Have it come up a little bit. And then let's do a little bit of our BG53. Leave a little bit of white space for our last color, which is B000. I'm going to use my B000 to just go over the entire bow. And if you get a little bit in the inside of the loops, that's no big deal because we're going to color those a darker color. For the inside of the bow right here, I'm going to use my W5 to fill in those little blank areas inside the bow. And then for this top package up here, I'm going to use these. I'm going to use W5, W3, and W1. So I'm going to take my W5 right next to the bow and along the outside edge. And then I'm going to grab W3. I'm going to soften that just a little bit. Maybe go down the edge of this bow. Same for over here. And then I'm going to fill it in with my W1. All right, that leaves us with this ornament over here. For that, we're going to use Y28 and Y23. And then for the tops, we're going to use N1. I'm going to start with my Y28. I'm just going to flick down here along the bottom. And I'm going to fill it in with Y23. And then I'm going to go over it a second time, so I'm going to grab Y28. And then again with my Y23. And then I'm going to take N1 just to fill in this top. I think I'll also use my N1 up here on the lace on her dress. So there is our beautiful Ellie, the elf, all colored up. Isn't she cute? And then again, here is the finished card. Adorable. And this stamp also comes with the sentiment, so that's a bonus. So I went ahead and I added some Wink of Stella clear to all the red stripes on her hat and to all the bows on her package, and and the ornaments. And I also did some Spica clear glitter pen in her hair. But when I did the Wink of Stella brush, I got a little blob right here where it just spilled out. So be careful when you're using that. Don't squeeze it too hard, because I did make a mess there and it just does not wipe back up. But I tried to put it back in as best I could. But I love all the sparkles it adds to that. So I hope you had fun coloring with me today. If you have a question, leave me a comment and I will get back to you. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.